Hi, this is Brian with the Instructional Tech Coordinator team, and today we're going to look at GarageBand and just how to get started with the recording. Once you've set your basic settings, which is something we talked about in the previous video, and so I won't spend a lot of time doing that, but you will see them represented here. We're just going to look at a basic single track recording to see how that happens. So here I am in my GarageBand on the iPad app, and I'm going to click the plus button here to start a new song. And we'll just be using an audio recorder for this, so I'll tap that. And now I'm ready to just begin my first recording. How do I know if it's working or not? Well, here you can see that I've got a pretty good feed on my voice, and if it stays really quiet like this and the needle doesn't move much, you're not going to get great audio. So it's always better to be louder. However, you'll notice if you're too loud, you'll be in the red zone up here a lot. So one thing you'll always want to be aware of is just where that needle is, and as close as you can be to this area right here, 135, you're in pretty good shape. That means you'll have good sound. But the softer it is, the harder it is to hear in the playback. Now, to get started, I'm just going to set my settings very quickly, as I did in the previous. I'm going to turn off my metronome and my count in. I am going to make my length an automatic length so I don't run out of time here. Another thing that I can do if I happen to be in a very noisy environment is I can set my noise gate over here. So if I'm in a very noisy environment, what the noise gate will do is it'll actually turn down the background sound on this. I don't happen to be in a noisy environment right now, so I won't need this. But if I did want to turn that on, I could turn it on and adjust it until it zeroed out my background noise. This is great for classroom uses. Now let's begin with our recording. So to record, all I need to do is hit this red record button up here. Now, I did turn off the metronome, so there's going to be no count-in. So as soon as I click the red button, it's going to begin recording. But don't worry about messing things up or having too much in there, because we can always chop off things that we need or don't need later. And so now I'm going to do just a brief recording of how to do single track recording in GarageBand. And now I can go ahead and click stop. Now you'll notice I was pretty intentional about some pausing there. This makes it a little bit easier to do editing. If you try to jam too many things into an audio clip too quick together, too soon together, it makes it a little difficult in editing later on. But if you give yourself some lengthier pauses, as I did in that recording, I have better control over where I begin to edit that when I get into the editing process later. You'll learn those little tricks as you go. Now, that's really all I need to do, but I want to see what my wavelength looks like, or what my waveform looks like. So I'm going to tap right here to switch over to the timeline editor. Again, this is a multi-track editor. You can tell that I've got pretty good audio here because I've got larger waveforms, which tells me that I've got pretty good playback audio. And then from there, I can do whatever I need to do to edit it out. In a future video, I will show you how to edit this particular waveform back. But that is how to complete a single track of audio recording using GarageBand.